Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. As Victor slaps Kyle with the devastating truth, Claire challenges him to come clean. As promised in the most recent Young and Restless preview, Genoa City is about to explode with truth bombs this week. Lily wants answers from Holden, Claire wants Kyle to confess, and Kane may not like what Victor has to say. Lily approached Kane in his club car and attempted to get information. Holden visited to meet with the employer about career opportunities, which raised some red lights for Lily. That is most likely why she will confront Holden next week about his true knowledge of Kane's plans. But can she get him to tell her anything? Young and Restless spoilers. Victor meets Kane on his train this week to share some sensitive information. All of Kane's property purchases have been made with his father's illicit money. Colin, played by the late Tristan Rogers, appears to have one final trick up his sleeve. Claire was finally out for retribution after seeing Audra pull Kyle into a kiss, and she told Nate exactly what kind of woman his girlfriend was. Of fact, all she told him was what she had been lying about. Audra was in league with Victor. But that was enough to cause problems in their relationship. However, Audra's comments regarding Kyle continue to irritate Claire. Next week she confronts Kyle, asking if he has left anything out concerning Audra and Nice. Oh, plenty, but will he be honest? Victoria's Claire scare, Kyle's daring move, and Billy's intel for Jack. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the next 2 weeks, August 25th to September 5th, state that Victoria Newman will suffer a Claire Newman fright as Kyle Abbott makes a daring move. Billy Abbott will also have some information for Jack Abbott, so let us discuss what awaits. During the week of August 25th to 29th, Victor Newman would blackmail Kane Ashby with evidence of Colin Atkinson's final fraud before his death. Kane will consent to Victor's Jabot takedown alliance because Colin's stolen fortune is said to have aided in the establishment of his empire. This will keep the news quiet and push the collaboration to move forward. However, Kane may have some nasty surprises in store for Victor. It'll be interesting to see how Kane responds after he summons Amanda Sinclair to Genoa City for his next orders. Lily's past relationship with Kane will haunt her. Despite all of the drama, Lily will miss her loving companion Kane. While Kane talks to Billy Abbott about his 6-year absence from Genoa City, Nate Hastings will have second thoughts. Will Nate consider healing his strained connection with Audra Charles, given that there is no conclusive evidence that she is lying? Next, Victoria will be concerned about Claire's future. Despite Victor's decision to cease impeding progress, Claire is still skeptical of Kyle's version of the Nice narrative. Victoria will be concerned about Claire's potential grief and how it may affect her future. Claire will finally confront Kyle, asking if there is anything he has not told her about what happened in Nice. Will Kyle reveal the truth about his makeout session with Audra, or at least the one kiss that he has been telling Jack and Diane Jenkins Abbott about? Whether Kyle spills or stays quiet for longer, he will eventually make a risky move. Kyle may go to great lengths to demonstrate his dedication to Claire while also emphasizing that Audra means nothing. Nikki Newman plans to reveal a dramatic shakeup at Chancellor. This could include Claire receiving a promotion or anything like. Amanda Sinclair will also return to Y&R to assist Kane, while Billy provides Jack with information about Kane's next scheme. The week of September 1st to 5th will allow Jack to reflect on Billy's updates and strategize. Once Jack receives word that Kane and Victor's partnership is finalized, he'll want to be prepared for whatever they throw at him. While Jack works hard to safeguard his family's business, Adam Newman may continue to raise concerns about Kane and his lack of integrity. Adam strongly opposes the Kane alliance idea, and he may raise additional concerns with Nick and Victor. There's a significant likelihood that Daniel Romalotti Jr. and Tessa Porter will encounter temptation. Will Tessa and Daniel agree to a kiss? Will Mariah Copeland or Sharon Newman be present to witness any potential close-up moments? According to previews for The Young and the Restless, the following 2 weeks will offer some surprises and setbacks. Billy's private investigator, Victor's extortion, and Adam's failed plan. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Monday, August 25th state that Billy Abbott will hire a private investigator, while Victor Newman carries out an extortion plot. Adam Newman's plan will also be rejected, so expect a lot to happen in Monday's thrilling show. At the Newman Ranch, Nick Newman will defend Victor's alliance plan to Adam, who believes it would be preferable to confront the Kane-Ashby threat head-on. Adam will urge Nick to join him in convincing Victor, but Nick is unwilling to do so. Instead, Nick will encourage Adam to trust their father because Victor has a scheme involving a find at the chateau. Y&R fans may recall that Nick discovered information on the prior estate owner while incarcerated with Sharon Newman. Victor had his guys look into who used to own the chateau and vineyard, so Kane will be backed into a corner in Monday's episode. On Kane's train, Victor will toss an envelope at him and make an irresistible offer. There'll be a letter inside with the last will and testament of the elderly woman who was Colin Atkinson's final con. Colin supposedly fooled this wealthy lady into signing over the chateau and vineyard to his last known identity, so Victor will have proof of all of this.
If it is uncovered, it will appear like Kane was involved, tarnishing his business, which appears to have been created on Colin's illicit money. Victor will demand Kane's alliance against Jack Abbott and Jabot, or else he will threaten to leak this information to the press and force Kane out of GC permanently. When Kane discovers he's being extorted, he'll appear eager to accept Victor's win and join his side. Lily Winters will discover in the park that Holden Novak accepted Kane's employment offer, and she predicts that he will come to regret it. Lily will also call Holden out for his lack of reaction to Damien Kane's death. Holden will explain that he is sincerely sorry for what happened to Damien, but he will admit that their friendship ended about the time they arrived in Genoa City. Holden understood he wasn't treated equally by Damien. Holden will try to persuade Lily to open up about her own predicament with Kane, but she will only want the specifics of Kane's grand plan. Lily will be skeptical of Holden's claim that he is in the dark. Billy will adore Sally Spectra as she tries on outfits to wear to the launch celebration. Billy will select his favorite and strip with Sally on the couch. Billy will also employ a private investigator to track Kane's whereabouts and report back. That revelation will upset Sally because Kane might discover out what's going on, but Billy will reassure her. Billy's PI will phone with updates on Victor's visit to Kane's train, making Billy feel as if his decision to have Kane followed is already paying off. According to teasers from The Young and the Restless, Kane's foes should not underestimate him since he still has some tricks up his sleeve. Is Kane about to lose everything? Victor has dirt on Colin. According to The Young and the Restless spoilers, Kane-Ashby feels his father was real at the end of his life and seeks redemption. So he forgiven him and honestly believed his narrative of acquiring a large amount of fortune. Kane's informed several individuals, including Lily Winters, that Colin Atkinson's terminal illness prompted a change of heart. Jill Abbott corroborated this during a tense chat in Kane's suite at the Genoa City Athletic Club, which he recently purchased with a small portion of the funds Colin supplied. However, a major uncertainty remains. How did Colin get or grow his fortune in such a short period of time? Attempting to steal Catherine Chancellor's inheritance. Kane was looking for his father near the end of Daniel Goddard's time on the drama. The last viewers were aware that he was traversing the world with little mention of Colin. Prior to that leaving, Kane was suspected of attempting to take Devon Winter's inheritance from his paternal grandmother, Catherine Chancellor, after she died. Kane was eventually cleared, and Colin was proved to be the rogue. That scenario appears to be the foundation for Victor Newman's accusation that Colin acquired his fortune immorally and unlawfully. Kane either refuses to accept it or is aware of the truth but refuses to reveal it. Kane-Ashby is probably kept in the dark. It is possible for two plot points to be true concurrently. Colin is the crook Victor describes, and he wishes to make amends with his son. Kane cared for his father near the end of his life. That mattered to both men. Colin's terminal situation undoubtedly changed his outlook from before. But Colin might still have been the same con man he always was, or more specifically, he could have stolen a fortune to assist Kane have a better life while concealing the reality. Kane believes Colin earned the fortune in an honest manner, but he has not stated or shown why. Victor Newman always finds a way. Kane's wealth grants him power, something Victor dislikes. Flynn's character poses a serious threat to him and others in Genoa City, Wisconsin. So Victor, along with a prospective alliance that includes Lily and potentially others, either tries to stop Kane or succeeds in gaining control of some or all of the legacy corporations he's pursuing. However, there is an alternative outcome. If Victor can prove that Colin earned his fortune illegally, the government can seize it, either legally or by submitting to the mustache. That solution would retain the status quo while also being acceptable to the fans. In Genoa City, the week ahead is nothing short of explosive as truth bombs detonate across alliances, families, and fragile relationships, with Victor Newman once again positioning himself as the master manipulator who knows how to hit his enemies exactly where it hurts most. Kane Ashby caught between pride and humiliation when the very foundation of his empire is shaken by devastating revelations, and Claire Newman daring Kyle Abbott to prove once and for all that he is a man worthy of her trust, her heart, and the second chance he so desperately craves. And while Lily Winters finds herself caught in the crossfire of old wounds and unfinished business with Kane, she cannot help but feel that Holden Novak knows far more than he lets on about Kane's schemes, forcing her to push harder than ever for answers she isn't sure she's ready to hear, especially when the whispers about Damian Kane's demise refuse to settle and Holden's presence in Genoa City keeps raising suspicions. Meanwhile Victor, never one to waste an opportunity, corners Kane aboard his luxurious train and delivers a slap more wounding than any physical blow, laying down the devastating truth that the fortune Kane has used to build his new empire, his properties, his investments, his glossy veneer of legitimacy, was in fact purchased with dirty money left behind by his father Colin Atkinson, the notorious con artist whose legacy of deception continues to poison his son's future even from beyond the grave. And when Victor throws down the damning evidence, an envelope containing legal documents, the last will and testament of Colin's final victim, proof that the chateau and vineyard Kane boasted of owning were acquired through one last cruel swindle, Kane is forced to reckon with the possibility that everything he has built rests on rotten foundations, making him vulnerable not only to Victor's extortion but also to public scandal should the truth ever be exposed. Yet Kane, proud and stubborn as ever, bristles under Victor's control and vows silently that he will not be anyone's pawn for long, even as he grudgingly agrees to Victor's demand that he join forces against Jack Abbott and Jabot, setting the stage for a corporate war that promises collateral damage on every side. But Kane is no fool, and with Amanda Sinclair summoned back to Genoa City, the seeds of his counterstrike are already being planted, while elsewhere Claire Newman finds herself haunted by the gnawing sense that Kyle has not been fully honest about his entanglement with Audra Charles, because even though she publicly exposed Audra's manipulations and warned Nate Hastings that his girlfriend was not to be trusted, Claire cannot shake the sting of betrayal she felt when she saw Audra kiss Kyle, a memory that replays like a cruel echo every time Kyle insists that it meant nothing, that it was just one kiss, that Audra has no hold over him, and so Claire, emboldened by both anger and self-preservation, dares Kyle to come clean, demanding that he confess if there is anything at all he has hidden, anything about Nice, anything about Audra, anything that could make or break the fragile trust they are trying to rebuild. And Kyle, torn between protecting Claire's heart and protecting his pride, knows that his next move will define the future of their relationship, for if he lies one more time and she learns the truth later, he risks losing her forever. But if he confesses now, the fallout could shatter the fragile alliance they have against Victor and Audra, while Victoria Newman, watching her niece spiral through this turmoil, grows increasingly fearful that Claire is in over her head, that Kyle's daring promises are empty, and that another heartbreak could undo all the progress Claire has made since her dark past nearly consumed her. And yet Kyle, desperate to prove his devotion, begins plotting a bold gesture, something that will force Claire to see that Audra means nothing, that she is the only woman he wants by his side, even as the world around them grows more dangerous. Because over at Chancellor Winters, Nikki Newman stirs up her own storm by announcing a shakeup that could place Claire in a powerful new role, further tying her future to Kyle's business ambitions and painting an even bigger target on her back. And as Billy Abbott digs deeper with the help of his private investigator, feeding intel back to Jack about Kane's clandestine dealings with Victor, the Abbott brothers brace for impact, knowing that if Kane and Victor truly form an alliance, Jabot could be facing a corporate siege unlike any they've weathered before, though Adam Newman, ever the skeptic, warns anyone who will listen that trusting Kane is a grave mistake, his voice drowned out by Nick's insistence that they let Victor handle things his way, creating fractures within the Newman clan that Victor may not even notice as he revels in his latest power play. And still the personal stakes rise higher, with Lily privately wrestling with her conflicted feelings about Kane, part of her furious at his betrayals and manipulations, another part of her aching with nostalgia for the years when they shared a life and love that felt unbreakable, so much so that she presses Holden harder than ever, convinced that he holds the key to unraveling Kane's master plan, but Holden, cryptic and defensive, insists he is in the dark, leaving Lily with more questions than answers, while Daniel Romalotti Jr. and Tessa Porter unexpectedly find themselves drifting into temptation, their unresolved feelings bubbling to the surface in a moment that could set off shockwaves for Mariah Copeland and Sharon Newman if witnessed, underscoring that in Genoa City, no secret stays buried for long, and as the clock ticks towards September, the balance of power shifts with every whispered deal and clandestine betrayal, Victor's extortion of Kane dangling like a sword over his head, Claire's ultimatum daring Kyle to be the man she needs or lose her forever, Billy's PI uncovering threads that could unravel Victor's whole scheme, and the shadow of Colin Atkinson's crimes reminding everyone that the sins of the father can indeed destroy the future of the son. Unless Kane finds a way to turn the tables, protect his fortune, and strike back at the man who just slapped him with a truth too devastating to ignore. As Genoa City braces for a storm of betrayals, secrets, and devastating revelations, the week on the young and the restless turns into a stage for confessions that shake families, lovers, and rivals to their cores, beginning with Victor Newman's blistering confrontation with Kane Ashby, a meeting that plays like a heavyweight bout in the dim light of Kane's private railcar, where Victor, cool and commanding in his tailored black suit, slaps Kane, not physically, but verbally, with a truth so devastating it may rewrite the entire trajectory of Kane's life, because as Kane smugly flaunts the properties he has been quietly acquiring across Genoa City, boasting about finally building his empire independent of the Newman and Abbott shadows, Victor leans in, voice low, calm, lethal, and informs him that every square inch of real estate Kane has purchased was paid for not by his own merit, but with Colin's dirty money, funds laundered through shell companies and offshore accounts that Kane believed he had outsmarted everyone in hiding, yet Victor, always 10 steps ahead, has the receipts and the proof, hitting Kane where it hurts most, his pride, his need to step out from the infamy of his father, his desperate attempts to convince Lily, his children, and even himself, that he was a man of integrity. The words leave Kane reeling, unable to mask the tremor in his voice as he denies, then questions, then silently realizes that Victor is right, and as he tries to regain footing, Victor delivers another crushing blow, reminding Kane that in Genoa City, empires aren't built on deception without Newman noticing, and if Kane doesn't come clean, the empire he thinks he has will burn faster than it was built, while outside this railcar of destruction, Lily, ever sharp-eyed and intuitive, picks up on Holden's nervousness as he fumbles with job applications, his loyalty to Kane evident but his fear of exposure even clearer, prompting her to corner him in Chancellor Winters. With a series of pointed questions that feel less like friendly inquiries and more like an interrogation, Lily demanding to know what Holden knows about Kane's sudden financial windfalls, the properties, and whether Holden himself has been pulled into the vortex of corruption, yet Holden, torn between loyalty to Kane and his own survival, sweats under Lily's gaze, leaving her frustrated but not defeated, determined to pull at every thread until the truth unravels. Meanwhile, elsewhere in Genoa City, the tangled web of Claire Newman, Kyle Abbott, and Audra Charles spins tighter, with Claire, still reeling from Audra's calculated kiss with Kyle, deciding that if honesty is a weapon, she'll wield it mercilessly, running straight to Nate to expose Audra's duplicity, telling him with fiery conviction that Audra has been lying, scheming, that she is working in cahoots with Victor, though the irony is that Claire herself bends truth into weaponry, knowing only fragments yet delivering them as absolutes, and her bombshell set off tremors in Nate's relationship with Audra, planting seeds of doubt that fester with every word.